Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about something that I think represents one of the most important and most underappreciated complexities in nutrition. The idea that a food being healthy in the general sense does not mean it is healthy for every person. In every amount, at every stage of gut health, consumed in every context. This is not a message about fear. It is not a reason to eliminate more things from your diet or to view food with suspicion. It is an invitation to understand something that the binary language of healthy and unhealthy consistently fails to capture, that the relationship between food and biology is contextual, individual, and dynamic, and that some of the most surprising effects in nutritional science come not from junk food, but from foods that carry an essentially unchallenged reputation for being good for you. Let me walk you through several of them. The first is raw spinach and other high-oxalate leafy greens consumed in the quantities that smoothie and salad culture has normalized. Spinach is genuinely nutritious. It contains iron, magnesium, folate, vitamin K, and a range of beneficial plant compounds. None of that is in dispute. What is less discussed is its oxalic acid content, one of the highest of any commonly consumed vegetable, and what that content does when spinach is consumed raw, in large quantities, multiple times per week. The second example is cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, consumed in large quantities by people with thyroid sensitivity or existing gut dysfunction. Cruciferous vegetables contain glucosinolates that, when hydrolyzed by gut bacteria, produce isothiocyanates and goitrins, compounds that can interfere with thyroid hormone synthesis and iodine uptake at the thyroid gland. This effect is generally negligible in individuals with robust thyroid function, who consume cruciferous vegetables in moderate amounts. It becomes relevant in individuals who are already at the low end of thyroid function, who have iodine insufficiency, or who are consuming extremely large quantities of raw cruciferous vegetables daily. The third example is Brazil nuts, one of the richest dietary sources of selenium, a mineral critical for thyroid function, immune health, and antioxidant enzyme activity. Selenium is essential. Selenium deficiency impairs thyroid hormone conversion, compromises immune function, and is associated with increased oxidative stress and gut permeability. Correcting selenium deficiency through Brazil nut consumption is genuinely effective and nutritionally elegant. The problem is the dose sensitivity of selenium, one of the most pronounced of any essential mineral. A single Brazil nut contains approximately 70 to 90 micrograms of selenium. The recommended daily intake is 55 micrograms. The tolerable upper limit above which toxicity effects begin to manifest is 400 micrograms. 3 to 5 Brazil nuts consumed daily, which many health-conscious individuals do routinely, can deliver selenium at or above the tolerable upper limit on a consistent basis. According to research, chronic selenium excess selenosis is associated with gut dysbiosis, altered microbiome composition toward inflammatory profiles, impaired mitochondrial function, and paradoxically, the same thyroid disruption that selenium deficiency produces. In one study, individuals with chronically elevated selenium intake showed significant alterations in gut microbiome composition, specifically, reductions in several Clostridial species involved in short-chain fatty acid production and elevated markers of gut inflammation compared to those with adequate but non-excessive selenium status. The selenium was not being toxic in a dramatic clinical sense. It was quietly remodeling the gut ecosystem in ways that produced measurable health consequences. The fourth example is apple cider vinegar, a product that has accumulated one of the most enthusiastic wellness followings of any food product in recent memory. Consumed daily by millions of people who believe it is improving their gut health and metabolic function. Apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid, which has genuine and documented metabolic effects at appropriate doses, modest improvements in post-meal glucose response, mild appetite suppression, and some evidence of influence on gut bacterial populations. These effects are real but modest, and they are produced by acetic acid at concentrations that do not require undiluted vinegar consumption. The acetic acid benefit was real at dilute concentrations. The chronic acid exposure was undoing the gut it was supposed to support. The fifth example is bone broth, widely promoted as a gut healing food, a collagen source, and a mineral-rich nutritional foundation. Bone broth is genuinely nutritious in many respects. It provides glycine, proline, gelatin, and trace minerals in a bioavailable form. For individuals who do not consume collagen-rich foods regularly, it adds a meaningful amino acid contribution that supports sleep quality, gut motility, and connective tissue maintenance. None of this is fabricated. The food that is supposed to heal the gut can, in a specific gut environment, be exactly what is keeping it reactive. Here is the through line connecting all 5 of these examples. The unexpected effects of healthy foods are not the result of the foods being secretly harmful. They are the result of the same factor that determines the effect of almost every nutritional input: the biological context in which the food is received, the gut environment, the microbiome composition, the thyroid status, the mineral load, the enzyme activity, the individual's baseline inflammatory state. All of these variables determine what a food becomes once it enters the body. The label healthy describes a food's potential in an optimal biological context. It does not describe what that food does in every context. And understanding that distinction, holding the general benefit and the individual context simultaneously, is what genuine nutritional literacy looks like. I hope this gave you a more nuanced lens rather than a more fearful one. Drop a comment and tell me which of these surprised you most. I read all of them. If this was useful, hit the like button and share it with someone who eats an enormous amount of spinach and wonders why they are still deficient in iron. And if you are new to NutriFlow, subscribe and hit the bell. This is exactly the kind of conversation we have here. See you in the next one.